Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial for my tranquil and yearning arrangement of the worship song Refiner's Fire. In this tutorial I'm going to go over any potential trouble spots and offer up some insight into my thinking as the arranger. So when I arranged this piece, I wanted to communicate in the arrangement the same message that the song has. And the song is really a prayer. And I've always felt, singing this growing up in the church, that it's a very earnest prayer, and it's a very heartfelt, honest prayer. And so I wanted to communicate that in the arrangement, and I thought that giving it a stepwise melody in the accompaniment and the introduction, and one that rises, was a good way to, as well as the harmonic progression is a stepwise, starts on an E, then F sharp, G sharp, A. I thought that would kind of communicate that yearning. And so you have right at the beginning of the song this and to me that feels very yearning. And then when you get to the chorus, there's a that idea that's introduced at the beginning is revisited in the accompaniment as a counter melody. So for example, at measure 18, is to be, right there, same as the beginning. And to me it just feels like it's really warm and it's tranquil, but yet it has this undertone of a real kind of longing to it. And so my encouragement to you as the pianist as you perform this is to really lean into that. I think I tried to fill all of those, particularly in the chorus, all of those spaces. There's a lot of space in this melody with a kind of counter melody. And whether it's a suspension here at measure 15, goes from the E to a D sharp, and then a little walk up here, or whether it's like a full measure of a counter melody that harkens back to the introduction, there's movement that's very intentional. And it's also not just in the right hand, but it's also in the left. The left is complementing the melody in the right with a harmonic note, usually a sixth below it. And so lean into that, milk it for all it's worth. Give those spaces some motion. And let me see if I can exemplify this an octave higher here. So I'm an octave higher. Hear that in that second measure there? Heart is fire. That's all intentional counter melody. So let it breathe, let it sing all on its own. Right here again. So is to be ba ba ba, like that. And I think those little nuances in your performance will really, really, really bless the listener, will really turn this into a kind of prayer. And I will say that that's one of the reasons why I include the lyrics in my sheet music, is because I want you to be thinking about the message of the song. I'm not just willy-nilly coming up with musical ideas. They have intention behind them. And if you're able to sing along and you're able to read the words, or at least look at the words as you're practicing it, then I think that will help you actually perform and interpret the arrangement even better when you do so. Okay, so as far as challenge goes, I think this arrangement, it is for me anyway, pretty intuitive. There's no weird motions, movements, or spreads or anything like that. There are some parallel sixths, but they're not super extended, so I think they fit in the hands well. Really, the biggest challenge is this section here at the end of the instrumental section, measures 32 and 33. And if you're looking at the sheet music, or if you listen to the demo, it's this measure right here that I think immediately grabs your attention. It's really busy looking and it's very fancy sounding, but it's really, really easy to play. it's a pattern, and it starts on a B, goes down a sixth to the D, and then one step below that, like that, and then you just roll it. And you could do it with your eyes closed. In fact, if there weren't the F sharps in there, you really could do it with your eyes closed. And you can go all the way up and down, and it'd be the easiest part of the song. So really, it's just the F sharps that are the thing you have to remember. Right here is where you have to land on a black note, and then again on your thumb right here. If you can hold that last B and let it carry into the next measure, measure 34, that's really nice. I think it's a classy sound to let that B note just sort of bleed into the next measure without being reiterated. But if you can't, if it's too hard, or if you forget to, or whatever, it's totally fine to reiterate it there at measure 34. In fact, I found myself doing that many times as I was practicing this. Yeah, I think that's it. I really don't think there's anything that's too challenging or confusing. So I hope that was helpful. This has always been one of my favorite worship songs, and so I put a lot of love into the arranging of this. I really enjoyed even just practicing it. I enjoyed arranging it, but even just practicing it as well. Just the time spent with it, revisiting it. I haven't sung it in a long time. I grew up singing it all the time, and it was really nice to revisit it and sing it myself again, play it. And so I hope that it's a blessing to you. And maybe you're in the same boat, you grew up singing it, or you sang it long ago, and it's really nice to revisit it. Maybe you can introduce the song to a new generation who hasn't heard it before, and it's so simple, it's so beautiful, and that's what I love about it, and I hope you do too. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.